This is a mini lecture on acquiring relevant evidence. We need to separate fact and fiction. Here are a couple of infographics that may be helpful to you in doing this. So on the left you see some tips how to spot fake news, consider the source, read beyond the headlines, check where the author is coming from, look at the supporting sources the author uses, check the date, see how current this is, make sure it's not a joke. Check your own biases in terms of how you're thinking about this material. And when in doubt, ask the experts. Ask a librarian or consult a fact-checking site. The infographic on the right was developed by Vanessa Otero in 2016. And I think it's very helpful in that it shows liberal to conservative bias in different news sources from left to right. And it shows complexity of news sources at the top to simplistic and sensational sources toward the bottom. So see if this is helpful to you in thinking about the sources that you use to get news. But beyond what's on the web and the ordinary news sites, the only thing that you absolutely have to know to sort fact from fiction is the location of the library, because not everything out there is true. So please don't confuse your own Google searches with what an expert can do. And librarians are experts. They're trained in the library science. Their searches are much more sophisticated than anything that we've been trained to do. Librarians are superheroes. They know answers to questions you didn't even know to ask. They can help you refine your questions and get good empirical answers. So in searching for empirical evidence, we typically begin with bibliographic databases, the electronic databases available to us through our library. A problem here is that these sources are largely limited to published studies, peer-reviewed studies, and those results are likely to be affected by publication bias. The publication bias is a serious problem affecting our literature, and it's a topic of my lecture on meta-research. But for now, it's important to say that relying on bibliographic databases alone is not sufficient to get a truly unbiased set of sources. So we often turn to what's called the gray literature. Gray literature is unpublished work that may be difficult to find, but is equally valid and equally important in understanding the evidence. This would include research that's published in dissertations and theses, on government and professional archives and websites, and information that's available from key informants and other experts. There's a good guide to searching for studies on the Campbell Collaboration website. The URL is shown here. This is actually a terrific source because it shows a list of relevant databases for the searching in the social sciences, and also an extensive list of sources of high-quality gray literature. When we're searching electronic databases, we develop search strings that combine keywords, often from our PICOS framework, indicating the topics of our interest, and synonyms for those keywords. These are combined with Boolean operators, such as the terms and or. And a tricky issue here is that the syntax or the structure of our search strings varies by database. So here's an example of a full search string crafted by a librarian for a study by Rivas and her colleagues on advocacy interventions to reduce or eliminate violence and promote the physical and psychosocial well-being of women who experience intimate partner abuse. This is a systematic review of empirical research published in the Campbell Library of Systematic Reviews. So this search string was crafted for PsycInfo using an Ovid platform. It was run in 2011 and included publications from 2008 to 2011. And you can see that the search string actually includes 48 separate lines. These lines are all run together as one long string. And the parts of it include keywords from the PICOS statement and synonyms for those keywords with very explicit instructions about how to combine these terms. And this is done to make sure that the result produces relevant information and not a lot of extraneous information. So it's a very efficient search string for getting what you want without a whole lot of other useless information. But see how complicated this is. And the moral of this story is don't do this by yourself at home. See a librarian. And that's what we're going to do today.